0.2 Step 1 video, You Are a Genius, the growth mindset and collaboration versus competition. Lesson objective, students will be able to get to know Cope and each other. Students will be able to formulate good reasons for studying literary art. So welcome, geniuses. There's really two key things you need to know about me. One is I love cats. Love them. Can't get enough of them. The second is I believe you are a genius. And I'll tell you this often. I usually don't mean it sarcastically. I am perfectly honest in saying it. Let me convince you. Sometimes when we think of genius, oh, there's my You Are a Genius sign with the brain. We think of this dude here. You recognize him? Albert Einstein. And we use Einstein when we want to talk about someone who is exceptional, abnormal, unparalleled in smartness. And he is like on this pedestal that none of us could get to. But even he thought you were a genius. Did you know that? Look what he said. When people hear me say everybody is a genius, sometimes they say, well, what is the point of using the word genius then? Doesn't it just defeat the purpose? Is it now meaningless because everyone can be one? Well, I ask you this, does it have to be a competition? How would it change if we really believed we are all geniuses? How would it change if we switched our mode of thinking from competition to collaboration? Let's go back by looking at the etymology of the word to try to get some perspective. Here's the etymology from etymonline.com. According to this, in the late 14th century, it meant tutelary or moral spirit. And it comes from a word that meant guardian deity or spirit, which watches over each person from birth. And prophetic skill and generative power. So some of these things highlighted in purple seem very different from this idea that a genius is someone exceptional who was simply given this ability. Instead, it's something that helps us, that allows us to create, and the connection there even here to giving birth, producing, and begetting. So it's interesting how it's morphed, it's changed over the years. Then again, when you look at the current definition of genius, it isn't until we get to the fifth definition that we see what I think a lot of us normally think of when we think of the word genius: a single strongly marked capacity or aptitude, extraordinary intellectual power, especially as manifested in creative activity, a person endowed with extraordinary mental superiority, especially a person with a very high IQ. But even IQ, having a high IQ, isn't something that you're just given. It isn't static. It can change. There's a lot of, oh, here's a Gina, Jeannie, I forgot he was going to pop up because he comes up a lot in the word, the etymology of genius. Let me offer you a different definition. What do you think of this one? The capacity to learn anything, which every single one of us has. How does the idea of having the capacity to learn anything make you feel? And that's pretty gosh darn special. You are a genius. You can learn anything. Dweck, PhD, has done a lot of research with the growth mindset, and the idea of a growth mindset is seeing failure as actually an opportunity or a way to launch into a new understanding. Growth. And this comes from years and years of brain research and also research just about how humans develop. But the truth is that your intelligence, how smart you are, is not just given to you. It isn't static. It is changing and it grows just like every other part of the body. The brain is just a part of the body. It's a body piece, and it gets stronger the more you use it, and it gets weaker the less you use it. She said this too: this growth mindset is based on the belief that your basic qualities are things you can cultivate or grow through your efforts. Although people may differ in every which way in their initial talents and aptitudes, interests, or temperaments, everyone can change and grow through application and experience. We can work that brain muscle. Well, how do we get this growth mindset? I'm going to give you 8 ways to do it. The first one is to listen to the mindset voice inside of you. We all have a mindset voice inside of us, whether we know it or not. Is yours fixed, or is it growth, this voice inside of you? Change it to growth. Here's an example of fixed. I don't get poetry, period. If I don't do it perfectly, I don't want to do it at all. Instead of allowing those thoughts, change them to a growth mindset. Recognize that you have a choice. You don't have to listen to the fixed mindset voice. You choose. Back to that fixed mindset voice with a growth mindset voice and say things like, I'll give it a try. Or I haven't had success in the past, but the past is in the past. The only true failure is not trying. I am a genius. I can learn anything. Practice. Say these things often. Use the growth mindset voice every day. It gets easier the more you do it, and it also feels less cheesy. Outside help. Collaborate with others. There are other people in this classroom. Work with them instead of trying to compete against them. Ask for help from me when you need it. I'm paid to do this. It's my job to help you. I'm here to work for you. I do want to help you as well. We all need help. Wolves in the wild, they're killers, right? They could kill each other if they wanted to, but they live in these packs, and they are constantly nudging each other's noses and kind of kissing each other to just kind of reassure them that they're doing okay. Reassurance is a good thing. Nature does it. And asking for help is actually a sign of strength. Needing reassurance and asking for it, it's showing you're strong. It's not a sign of weakness. It is what the wolves do. Be a wolf. Stop seeking the approval of others. While you do need that outside help, we have to stop looking at ourselves through the eyes of other people. I love this quote from Mark Twain: comparison is the thief of joy. And it is so true. It's not a competition, folks. You can all get an A. Let's work together to do it. Replace the word failing with learning. And failing is just a way to learn. Don't be afraid of it. You have to embrace it to keep moving forward. Think about this. If you didn't do this when you were first born, you wouldn't know how to do anything. Literally. Take growth mindset action as number 8. And the key with actions and change is that you have to do the work. You have to do the thing. You have to act in order to get new thoughts, in order to get new feelings. It goes in that order: actions, thoughts, and then feelings. So do the next lesson. That's your action here. Watch the next video. And the more you act, the more your thoughts will come. The growth mindset thoughts of, I can do this. I'll try this. And then you'll get those feelings. I am a genius. I can do anything. Because it's true. You are.